welcome back to Science at Mrs. Mack's house, but actually not at Mrs. Mack's house because I'm at school, which is weird, right? But there are some big advantages to this because one is, you can see I've got the bling going at the LED lights, all the colours, looks great, doesn't it? And secondly, I'll have to confess that my desk at home has not been tidied up since last time, and if I was there, all you would see is my mess all over the place. The microscopes are set up, little bits of slime mold everywhere, and all my fabric. So probably not the best environment anyway. So sometimes I'll be filming this at school, sometimes I'll be filming this at home, and it'll be a bit of a mix for you. So the topic that I've chosen for you this term, I'm hoping it's one that sort of piques your interest a little bit, especially when we're all back home again, is forensic science. And that's the study or using science to solve crimes. So we're going to be looking at a whole bunch of different things like fingerprints and what ink is in pens, and I'll show you things like pollen and hair samples and fibre from your clothes, that kind of stuff. Sadly, because you don't all have microscopes at your house, you won't all necessarily be able to see things up close, so I'll show you photographs, but I'll try and make activities that you can actually do in your own home as well. So you'll learn about trace evidence, the things that you're carrying around on you all the time, the things that you leave behind all the time when you go places as well. My daughter Abby and I have been working on some new segments for Science at Mrs. Mack's house, but also at school, because, you know, it's kind of a bit boring doing the same old. So some of the sections will be the same, and then there'll be some new stuff for you to do as well. Okay guys, this section is something you've probably played before, maybe even on a phone or an iPad or something like that, called 4 Pics, 1 Word. And basically I give you 4 pictures, they all relate to each other and to a particular word that you have to try and guess. So we're going to start with a really super duper easy one, 4 pictures. I'm going to give you like a couple of seconds to guess it, then we'll see if you got it right. Okay, now you probably figured out that was sleep. It was pretty easy, hopefully you worked that out. All 4 of those pictures were related to that word. And in the coming weeks, you'll play this game but with words related to the topics that we're studying. So I'll give you another one now, just to see if you're kind of on the right track. It's to do with our topic for this term. Hey Abby.
Hey.
Sorry I interrupted your homework again.
Sorry, I'm used to it by now.
Yeah. Notice how we're always wearing the same clothes every time we do this?
Yeah, I know. It's like it's on the same day or something.
Don't give away the illusion. Okay, this segment is where I go to Abby and I show her a cartoon I just found on the internet, a science related one. If Abby finds it funny, she picks these and then you get to see the joke. If Abby doesn't find it funny, you get to see nothing. It's a wasted segment. I don't know why I'm bothered with this. Okay, ready? You ready, Abby? This one's going to take a little while to read, so you'll just have to be patient with her, okay? Uh-oh, I don't have a good feeling about this one. She's not even smiling.
I kind of half get it, but I also half don't get it.
Oh no. Oh, you get to pick the teethy one that never gets picked. Oh, I'm sorry kids, you know what this means? You'll never know what I was laughing at that Abby didn't get. Did you like that very dramatic entry into our new segment called Ology? Hope so. Ology is something that you hear on the end of lots of words in science. You might have heard of biology, microbiology, geology, criminology. All kinds of words have ology on the end. And when you find letters at the end of a word that keep appearing over and over again, they're called a suffix. Now, you probably have learnt about prefixes and suffixes before in your lessons. So a prefix is something that comes at the start of a word, and a suffix is something that comes at the end of the word. And ology is a really popular one in science. Now, it comes from an old Greek word, and it means the study of. So this makes sense. If you do biology, for instance, you've got the study of living things, bio living things. So biology, the study of living things. We're going to talk about different ologies each week. I'm going to tell you about some that are a bit interesting that I didn't know about. Now, you can use that suffix ology in real words, but you can also add it onto the end of things, and it kind of makes them into the study of things. So for instance, I love board games, and there's this board game shop that I buy from, and it's called Gameology. That's what they call themselves. I think that's a made-up word, but it's the study of games. So you can do this yourself with words. I've got a challenge for you this week. When you're talking to your parents about something that you're studying, it could be anything. Like it could be food, it could be a computer game, it could be an instrument. You got to use the word and then put ology on the end and pretend like it's a real word. Okay, so that's your challenge for the week. In fact, one's like musicology. I think that's an actual word. So probably you're not going to be able to make up any words because everybody's already made them up. Okay, 5 6s. There's not much I need you to do for me this week. The activities will kind of start next week. But what I'd like you to do is, if there's any way you can get your hands on a little magnifying glass. Hold on. For instance, I just bought this little one actually on eBay, and what it is you can just open it up. It's like a little hand lens, and you can look at things close up. If you've got a magnifying glass, or maybe one of those little microscope cameras that you can click onto your phone or iPad, that would be really useful this term, because we're going to do things like, you know, looking close up at small things. And if you've got something like that around your house, that would be wonderful. You might even find that one of your devices, like a phone or an iPad, can zoom in really closely at things. That's fine too. Just something that could magnify stuff. So if you can get your hands on that, that would be wonderful. Try and do that this week. And if you can't, don't worry, I'm going to be able to show you pictures anyway. It's just for your own interest. The other thing is that there's sort of a new segment with microscopes where you can write into me, and the little kids are doing this, but it's for you too. You write into me things that you would like me to show you under the microscope, and then I show you. So, for instance, this isn't even science necessarily, but the other day my daughter and I were looking at the $50 note, because I don't know if you know, but a whole bunch of them had a word spelt incorrectly on them. So we were looking at that. It doesn't have to be science related, it's just about microscopes and how they magnify things. But if it's something you can think of, send me a message on Google Classroom or an email, and I'm going to try and get through as many of those as I can in the Thursday videos. And the last thing I'd just like to sort of leave you with, a thought for you to think about before we come back next week. Next week we're going to be talking about trace evidence, and I'll be explaining what that is, but I want you to just think about, on you right now, on your body, what are some of the things that when you touch something you might leave behind? What are some of the things you're wearing perhaps? Some of the things on your hands? What about on your head? Just have to think about what are some of the things that you leave behind wherever you go. Because they're the kind of clues that detectives use, that scientists use, forensic scientists use when solving crimes. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that next week. All right, I'm really sad that I only got to see you twice, and now we're back to this again. I hope that you're all coping okay with it. I know some of you are probably thinking it's great. Some of you are probably not thinking it's great. I'm having all the feelings. Can't quite figure out what I think at the moment. But we could do this again. And I guess I'll look forward to hearing from you on Google Classroom. All right, take care. I'll see you later. Bye.